This college football picks week 7 edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast. It's brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code SGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Hey, this is LeGarrette Blunt, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Hello, Sean.
Hello, Kramer. We're also joined by Colby Dant, aka Pick Dundee from the College Football Experience. What's happening, Colby?
Just you know, sipping that beautiful whiskey, Sean.
Did you hear it? Did you hear it?
Do I still have a
He's
lift?
fucking with us this whole
I think
time.
Blake Bortles is better than Dak Prescott. 565. Just sipping that beautiful whiskey you guys gave me for Christmas.
Yes, we sipped a lot of whiskey this weekend. Shout out to all the guys who are hanging out with from the Venezia's crew. Make sure you check them out whenever you're in the area looking for some sweet pizza. I mean,
Best pizza.
They hooked it up.
That was pretty offensive what you just did.
What? Oh, the
just-
Italian fingers.
We're gonna do it.
Venezia's.
What is this? What are you?
Venezia's.
What are you, limp wristed? Come on, a little.
It was awesome. They really hooked it up. They had a suite. We were just hanging out in the Sun Devil suite, and then they had field passes. Kramer and I were down on the field when there's nothing like watching a comeback live. The stadium's rocking. It was hot as shit. It was just a great environment. And then the comeback at the end to cover the spread. It was just an awesome weekend. So shout out to Venezia's for hooking it up. Shout out to the Sun Devils for cashing the lock. It was just an awesome college football weekend.
Yeah, got to see some people.
Shout out to all the listeners.
Shout out to the dude who brought us some medicine in his socks.
Woo, it's
He shows
He's
up.
just great. He's like shows up. He's like, hey, I'm the guy who said I'd bring you some joints. Like, awesome. And he just whoop pulls it out. It was in his sock, and the joint was amazing. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
I would say that the arid climate, you got to be real careful. You get a little too much of that medicine.
Oh yeah. Rarely do you hear
cramping up a little
Rarely
bit.
do you hear Kramer say that. You guys went on like a late night Chick-fil-A run that I missed out on.
Well, so yeah, strangely somehow Sean snuck off first. I was very jealous when he pulled the move.
Must have been a good forensic files.
Oh well, I didn't even. I mean, our weekend was pretty insane because we ran. So we taped the show at on VSiN 8-11. Gave out 2 separate winning 2 touchdown bets. You parlay them together, it's 1,000 to 1. You're welcome, America. Show wraps around 11. We're like hanging around the slot machine. I have 1 drink. I'm about to go. Like, you know what? I'm just gonna call it a night. We got to wake up early for the flight to Phoenix to get to the game. And then Derek walks by. I was like, "Hey, motherfuckers, what do you come with us? Come on!" And he's hanging out. It's a bachelor party.
So true.
I love the impersonation.
Hey,
because I
motherfucker.
feel like it's pretty accurate.
Well,
it's pretty fucking
what is he
accurate.
gonna say? Hello, how you doing? No, he's Derek, and him and there was a bachelor party. One of the guys, it was a group of high school friends. One of the guys actually is a pitcher on the White Sox. I don't know if he wants his name out there, but it was a fun night. We go up to the Legacy Club, drinking a ton there, talking with Big Balls, Banksy, the whole Circa crew. I was bending everyone's ear. I'm like, Pitts Steelers are the lock. I should have went with Broncos, but so that was awesome. But go to bed at like 2:30. Wake up at 8 for the flight to Phoenix. So you're already kind of behind the 8 ball, and then.
Derek, for my part of the story, I was trying to also be responsible.
Derek was having no part of it.
Derek straight up got called a pussy because I did not have a drink in my hand. I got bullied by. I mean, I'm a grown ass man. Got bullied by another grown ass man.
Peer pressure.
I mean, it is true. He's paying for the drink. So what am I going to do?
Yeah, you don't want to be
spit in his
rude.
face?
And then,
So yeah, I did not intend to drink that.
no,
that
Ryan
much
drank
alcohol.
way more than he normally does. And then we hit the ground running. We
Got
get
drunk
Colby.
twice in 24 hours.
Yeah, we pick up Colby. We check into the hotel. We find a bar. We meet up with the Venezia guys and start drinking at like 12, 1 o'clock.
Can I give Kramer a game ball too? He
Sure.
did not have a coleslaw sandwich. If so, we were hanging out with.
What do you mean?
You know, Bobby Hurley was in the same
do you mean?
booth as us. Or
You
the
must
thing.
have, Colby. You must have missed it because
I went out of my way when we were at that bar, which by the way, it was a little after 1. I remember because Sean rushed me out the door, did not allow me to finish dealing with a FanDuel account issue.
oh, you had plenty of
Costing
time.
me thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Plenty of
potentially.
time to fix it on your own time.
But no, I went out of my way to order when I asked what sides I could get
at the
with
bar,
with
you're
the
saying,
chicken sandwich that I ordered.
yes, it was.
Chicken
He got
This is
it
sandwich.
early on. Though.
Yes, there's a photo.
Well, that's fine. I was saying once we got into the stadium, I didn't want the Sun Devil elites to think
but listen,
we're traveling with this
so
with
we-
this, with
but
this
we go
pussy over
coleslaw
here.
eater.
But
You know,
listen-
Bobby Hurley would have said that to his face.
But
He said,
listen,
who's this
our,
pussy?
Our hosts, our gracious hosts. So we meet up at this bar. It's a brewery. I'm not going to drink a beer, but I'll get a drink. I order a drink, immediately get made fun of for ordering a not beer. at a
No,
brewery.
Bloody Mary's always great.
But
Yeah.
it happened, and then I order the sandwich, and one of the side options is coleslaw. So I did order coleslaw with my hot chicken sandwich.
that sandwich was pretty fire, wasn't it?
It was good, and I would say it was smart of me to eat that.
Yes, I don't know what I'm doing. So
All right, we're back on the screen. Too many buttons, Sean.
yes,
All right. So then we're hanging out there until about 4 o'clock. Yeah, there's a number of people there. Colby is kind of drunk. I'm also drunk, but Colby is very social when he's drunk. And I can tell the guys we're there with are trying to get us out of there because they want to go into the stadium.
yeah.
And Colby's just
Colby,
not.
these listeners haven't heard his theory on why college football shouldn't be played in domes.
Yep, should not be played in domes.
There was a great photo I took of Colby's like clearly engaged in a very vocal conversation and my giant beer mug and his head over it, and people were just guessing what you were fired up about.
You were fired
and
up.
they were nailing it too. It was great.
You were
it's like they were at the tailgate there.
You were fired up with Sup Boy, who, by the way, check out his kickoff model on the pregame
Legend.
show. But so we finally get out of there, and we ride in some like it's like imagine like a horse-drawn like rickshaw, but instead of a guy with a horse, it's like some overweight dude, super sweaty on a bike with a motor assist.
I forgot about that.
And so they cruise us a couple blocks over to the stadium. We walk into the stadium. We immediately go up to this Legends Club, which is beautiful. But there's and I'm being told
and it was,
as we're walking,
it was 100 degrees at kickoff. So having a place where you could hang out in air conditioning and have a couple cocktails and then walk out, and it also had areas if you wanted.
So
to
they had like a food.
So we walk in
Yeah.
and we're getting ushered in, and I'm being told how there's this open bar in here. I'm like, oh, perfect. I could go for a Jameson ginger.
Yeah.
So I walk up to the. I am as sauced and stoned as I've been in a little bit since probably NFL Week 1 in Vegas.
Wow.
And I walk right up to the bar. Go, I'll take a Jameson ginger, and he just looks at me. He goes, "You got to pay for that, buddy." And I'm like, "Holy shit! What did I like?" And so once again, I'm getting made fun of for ordering the wrong drink.
So you were just in your head about the weed ride. That's what it was.
What do you mean?
Well,
But you were there when that happened. It was like, I guess everyone else had ordered a beer up until that point, and I ordered a.
Well, there was a point where
whiskey.
Ryan was double fisted Jameson ginger.
So he then, instead of just getting one Jameson ginger ale because this
That was
guy was
great.
burdened, I guess he just made me 2.
Yeah.
And yeah, so at that point I went from kind of drunk to really in a spot where I was like, my back fucking hurts. I'm cramping up because it's hot as shit. I drank a
lot
million
of inflammation
waters,
talk by Ryan.
And then what did I do? I completely caved and ate a bunch of delicious meat because
delicious.
the food in there was
Food was
they
good.
had,
They
like, a
even
nice
had a dessert
roast.
bar.
They had a donut bar, like
carrot
high-end-
cake.
Yeah, it was
It's like a pig
cheesecake.
and shit.
It was amazing. So again,
Carlos Santana was there.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Bobby
There was-
Hurley. We had
and there was a Sparky, the Arizona State mascot.
Yep.
I was debating. We were hanging out down the field, and you don't know the decorum. You want to be cool. You don't want to like ruffle any feathers. But I was like, should I ask Sparky for a photo? But then I'm like, that would be really humiliating to be rejected by a mascot. Like, I just imagine I go up to Sparky and I'm like, hey, can I get a photo? He's like, Mike Tomlin. He's like, I'm working here. Get away from me. So I didn't ask, but Sparky seemed cool. So again, awesome experience. Trip was great. Game was I mean, the fact that the game worked out, they won, they covered. It was a,
came
it
down
was
to the
a
final
great
play. I
yeah,
mean,
it was a great game too. You couldn't ask for anything.
Yeah, I
more.
did. Being in a legal betting state was fun.
Oh, it was great. And let's see, checking in on the chat. Shout out to Sergio Acosta saying, I'm currently in my car using Wi-Fi from OnStar, trying to survive Hurricane Milton, locking in my bets before the Category 5 hurricane hits. Well, shout out to you, Sergio. Hopefully you and the fam are all right. And yeah, everyone there. I mean, the hurricane season has been crazy.
Yeah, fuck the Hurricanes.
Yeah, we do not support the Hurricanes, Miami or
Private
otherwise.
school pussies.
Of course, still time to get in your donation. Mountainprojects.org. Hit the flood support button, and I'm being told that people are sending their donations with SGPN in the notes. We are giving away a prize of coming on the show, picking a couple games, hooking you up with a ton of merch. There is a 2-way tie right now for the biggest donation from our audience. So I think we'll run it for a couple more days, and then maybe announce the winner either sometime this week or early next week. So still time to get in, get the donations in, and you still got a chance to win too.
And give me 5 seconds here, and I'm going to tell you right now. I think it's a moment for it because if you're tied,
Yeah.
I feel like we got to just get a few more bucks out of him. Then do you want to be number one, or do you want?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I mean, if you donated a large sum, maybe you kick in $20 more.
that's what I'm saying. Like we're right there. We got to have a little raffle here. But yeah, I'm seeing where am I?
Don't we
here?
just? Isn't this where we're gonna match the top?
Magic Man Blanco? And right now,
what's he up to?
well, he threw in a nice.
Well, I know it's generous because it's Magic.
Yeah, 5 spot.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure we're gonna match the top bidder.
And
Pretty sure that's gonna happen.
Ryman Wright also matched that. So they're having a duel right here.
And you know, it's been a good season for the cash flow. So,
Let's go. Appreciate all the donations. Mountainprojects.org. Hit the flood support button. Appreciate all the great support, and I know they appreciate it too. We've gotten some cool photos from Weehawk of him hooking up the people, the volunteers, and all accounts, the charity money is going to a great place. So that is awesome as well. And then picks in general, coming off a nice week. Our consensus plays were 6-2-1. Kramer with a nice 9-4-1. Doing well there. We were what? We were 3 and
I should have had Cal once again. The refs in the ACC making the call. How are we going to gloss over?
They got
this?
like 2 offensive linemen 9 yards into the
poor
end zone.
Sean woke up, went to sleep thinking that Cal won the game.
I did. I thought it was over. And then, Ryan, shout out to the listener who reminded me that I was gonna put Houston money line in that Friday around Robin with Syracuse.
Stop it. We all make mistakes, Sean. You can't get them all right.
I guess it balanced out because Michigan State kicking that pointless field goal as time expired to cover what would have been a push at 24. Instead, they cover the 21, losing 31-10. That was pretty awesome. Syracuse also very. I don't know if you could say lucky that targeting call in OT was very bad, but I mean, it also was overtime. Like they still would have kicked a field goal and extended it.
I was roughing, I think.
Was it? No, there was a targeting. They reviewed it. They took away they took away the targeting part of it, but they still gave him the 15 yards. Very crazy rules in college, but yeah, no, fun week of college football. Crazy amount of upsets. Vanderbilt winning at home against Alabama, pissing Pavia. The legend grows.
I try to tell people, I've been saying for 3 years on the college football experience, you don't
It's fair.
Look, well, all these people think you need to have like this 5-star quarterback that can throw the. You just gotta have. Diego Pavia plays quarterback the way the game was intended to be a fucking quarterback.
What's that? Like a little weasel?
Like just a badass dude that will do whatever it takes to win the game. He'll lay you out on a block. He'll throw the pass that he has to. He'll run you over. He'll do whatever it takes. He's the ultimate epitome of a winner. He's
that photo of the Pavia clan rolling up to the game.
I love him, dude. I want to be
in that Jeep. It was.
I'm applying for membership in that family.
Well, and he tweeted out his agent's cell phone number saying, if you want an NIL deal, hit up my agent.
I think he had telling a story. I think of the Alabama players are calling him an FCS quarterback. Well,
oh man,
have fun.
Just fired up.
Have fun.
Fired up.
Fired up the wrong guy. All right.
Yeah. Don't mess with the hornet's nest.
Former wrestling state champ in New Mexico.
Yes.
I mean, he was at New Mexico military. Walked on. I mean, it's just this is why sport's great.
He's a modern day Baker Mayfield.
And of course, I'm seeing people coming in with plays. The FIU Liberty. We are in the middle of 55 straight days of football, college, obviously, and NFL. Colby is covering individual the weekday games, the Tuesday, Wednesday games. Obviously, we picked the Thursday ones on here as well.
We hit on Florida International tonight. If you
the airport coming through,
yeah.
So
is the any weather going to ruin our 55-day streak? We're clear.
I think we're still clear because there's a bunch on Friday. Even though we have a game that did get moved from Friday to Saturday, maybe even Sunday. It's kind of a flex game right now. On what day? And that's that Memphis, South Florida game that we're going to talk about here in a little bit.
Interesting strategy by the government in election season to get everyone pissed off by creating these hurricanes.
Ryan's deep in the government controls the weather Twitter.
No. We did. God's Eye was watching the weather channel.
Yeah, Ryan snuck in the weather channel on the God's Eye 8 screen. There's only so much action on midweek there. Hey, if you're looking for action, looking to get down on some Tuesday night college football, Wednesday night college football, Thursday night NFL and college football, you got to go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betus. Hockey got going today. NBA right around the corner. WNBA, MLB playoffs. Anything you want to bet on, you can do it over at BetUS. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betus. Bet with the best, America's favorite sports book. Been in business there for 30+ years. Easy deposit, even easier withdrawal. Cryptocurrency. They're also giving away a 1960 Ford Mustang. Basically, you just got to deposit $100, enter it in the raffle. They have a bunch of cool bonuses. Again, always check the rollover requirements. But sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betus, promo code SGPN, so they know we sent you. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betus, promo code SGPN. BetUS, America's favorite sports book. Kramer, let's get to it.
What are we getting to? Picking games?
Yes.
All right. Pull up the sheet. Beautiful sheet, Sean, by the way.
Thank you.
People ask where they can get access to the sheet. Where might they go to get access to these sheets?
Patreon. Patreon. Yeah, and shout out to all the awesome Patreon members. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. You get access to the sheets, the bonus episodes, the SGP stories. The last one we did was and they're evergreen episodes, so you can catch up on a bunch of them. We had a bonus episode with the bet detective CJ Sullivan. He was at the Preakness. This was like 20 years ago, where a guy ran out onto the track and tried to punch a horse. It's one of the craziest stories I've ever heard. He was there to witness it in person. You got to listen to that. So highly recommend.
All right. But you should just listen to the bet detective in general. It's 100%. We're standing in the other room. It's always interesting to get a listen, see what's going on in the studio, in the box. All right, we're going to Thursday. Colby, are we? How are we feeling about these dates? Feel good. All right,
I
Thursday.
feel great that we have games every single night tomorrow. I mean, I was gonna put the Wednesday game on, but I just wasn't sure with this 14. We really got to do 2 episodes, I think, because with the way that the CUSA is hitting these weekday games, and the way that now you're seeing the Big 12 and Big 10 hit these weekday games, it makes it really hard to compress this down to just a few games.
Are you saying this isn't enough?
That's not enough. We should do more. I mean, I know. I'm not sure where you're at with that. I saw, you're a guy that prefers coleslaw sandwiches.
It's a perfect amount right now. It's perfect amount right now. And we may be having slight internet issues. I'm unclear. So apologies if we're glitchy. Audio might be good. Video might be a little glitchy. All right, Sean, you ready?
Yes, let's go.
Thursday night, Coastal Carolina, JMU, 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Boy, what happened at JMU last week? Maybe a look ahead spot. Maybe just a fall flat on your face spot.
I think probably look ahead. I think people have been undervaluing ULM, and they came in with the plan. It's hard to go up against General Booty and get the dub.
True. It's true. JMU lay 9.5 here.
It's General Booty going to war.
-340 on the money line. Coastal Carolina +270. 60.5 is the total. The bet splits would indicate that everyone is betting JMU here in a bounce back spot. Colby, how we feeling?
No, I'm gonna take Coastal here, man. I just think okay, you got JMU looked great for a couple weeks there, but you go back to the first 2 weeks of the season with all the turnover, because remember JMU's whole team I feel like is starting at Indiana. So
teams game as well, but Coastal Carolina on the opposite side, they've been good at not turning it over. So if they can play a somewhat clean game, which I think they can, and obviously Coastal Carolina not amazing defense, but I think if Coastal Carolina can just not mess up the turnovers and kind of keep this a close game, I think 9.5 is way too much. So the fact that they haven't been turnover prone this season, and that's kind of how JMU has won their games, I like the 9.5 with the Chanticleers. Kramer, what are you doing?
I was fully prepared to be very chalky. Let's just be chalky. Bounce back spot. I mean, come on. This was a team that was the toast of the town. And last week was bad. I know Colby gave me ULM is not as bad as they usually are. That's a bad loss for JMU.
So you think they bounce back?
Laying the big number.
Big number.
I'm jumping in with the public. I like being the
Dogs have been good in the weekdays spot so far, and especially I know this is a Thursday game, but the Friday games the Dogs have been barking. I'll look at Tim Murray, our colleague over at VSiN, had a crazy stat about it. I'll see if I can pull that up. But just from us going out and hanging out at VSiN and Circa there on Friday nights, the Dogs have been barking early and often on Friday Night Football.
Yeah, and I just think Coastal is in a good spot here. Now I will say historically, JMU's got the best of Coastal, but that was with Kurt Cignetti. That's why I just think that, this is going to be a game, and it's actually a huge game for the Sun Belt East when you really think about it, with the App struggles and the fact that we don't even know if App's going to play a home game the rest of the year. They're talking about playing potentially at Wake Forest Stadium with the disaster there that happened there in the mountains. So Coastal, JMU, and the other game going on is Marshall and Georgia Southern. You got to think those are gigantic games in the Sun Belt East. Remember, they're the only conference that still has 2 divisions. So
the classic way.
Yeah, they're old school.
Why yeah, I mean, it's funny. We're going to be talking in a couple of years about how divisions will be the future of college football as they have these mega conferences. All right. Moving along, and by the way, Sean, I know you might have mentioned it earlier the show, but I saved the Discord from continuing their horrible losing streak. They're getting slaughtered when we all agree.
Yes.
Memphis, South Florida. All right, Sean, we got Memphis laying 7.5 minus 280 on the money line. South Florida plus 230. 60.5 is the total.
Now this game is flexible. Colby, is that what it is? It's open. It's fluid.
Yeah, I think it's
start
going
time
to
curious.
Yeah,
Doesn't want to be locked into. It's not a binary start time.
I think it's going to be in between Saturday or Sunday. It was supposed to be this Friday. It just got changed a few hours back, I think it was.
Okay.
And now they're saying Saturday is what they're planning on with the flex opportunity to Sunday. So who the hell knows? You know, with this fake storm that Kramer keeps talking about coming in there. But I can tell you this: Byron Brown, their star quarterback, is questionable, and the more time he gets off, the more I think he's going to play.
What do you think about South Florida's defense? That to me, obviously, is a huge issue. They're 78th in points per game allowed, 17 worse in the FBS, 32.8 points per allowed per contest. Like, I don't know, Colby. Can you take South Florida here as a dog?
I mean, I think so. I think the more time off, the better that is for Brown. But I will say, like, this is a tricky one because if it is truly a devastating storm, what is the mental state? Like App State looked like shit last week when they played at Marshall. It looked like they were kind of mentally checked out.
Yeah.
So like it's something to factor in here. But I'm going to take South Florida the points just because this was a crazy game a year ago. By the way, it was like 59-53. So I think both teams can score. I think both teams have been questionable on defense.
Yeah, I mean that to me is the reason you're on USF is that they can keep up offensively, and maybe you get enough of a defensive stop. Maybe they round, having to deal with the hurricane and stuff. It's something they can get fired up about. All right, I'll talk into the home
well,
dog.
you see them at 2 and 3, and you could really say right now South Florida's losses are to Bama, Miami, Florida, and Tulane. Those three teams might be in the 12-team playoff.
When is Memphis traveling?
That's a good question. I don't know now that they've pushed it. I do not know that information.
Like if you're Memphis, you want to leave as late as possible.
Yeah. You're
Is
probably
that
Saturday
worse
morning
than
probably.
having to deal with dealing with a hurricane? This feels like it's just completely fucked game.
It is kind of crazy, right? It's. But I think you got to take South Florida the points then, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I guess the Memphis travel situation feels interesting.
What's crazy is this game could be huge as far as a tiebreaker to play in the AAC championship, which might be able to get into the 12-team playoff there. So like this game, with it shifting to all these 3 different days, it's a gigantic game within the conference.
Yeah, I think the idea that because I don't understand if the game is postponed until Friday, that means the storm is expected to be done being there when?
No. It was supposed to be on Friday. It was postponed to Saturday.
Sorry, moved from
Flex
Friday to
over
Saturday.
Sunday. Yeah.
So when is the storm supposed to be done? Where all of a sudden things are going to be cleared up. This team is going to then travel into this area that has probably dealt with some logistical issues.
Yeah.
I'll take the points as well. The number.
All right, Discord. Enjoy
us.
Memphis minus 7.5. They're making it 7.5. This game's gonna get canceled. Why are we talking about this?
That was my thought, but yeah, it got to be on South Florida. Also worth noting, 70% of the bets, Sean, on Memphis, but only 46% of the money.
Sharps like USF.
Sharps like us, like USF. Next up, Sean, Northwestern heading out to College Park, Maryland for a little Big Ten battle here. Maryland laying 10.5 minus 380 on the money line, plus 300 for Northwestern. 45.5 is the total. Colby, thoughts? This is now we're back in the time machine, back to Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific time.
I mean, Mike Loxley. I mean,
we're still fading him, right?
Jack Losh has come in for Northwestern, played pretty well ball. And I just think that Northwestern beat Maryland a year ago there. I just think Maryland to be laying this big of a number, like what what's the logic here? Just the Virginia game?
Well, Maryland's coming off a bye. Northwestern on the road has been horrific. I mean, and Northwestern's been horrible ATS. They're 1-4 ATS this season. They're going on the road. You got Billy Edwards Jr., who's looked pretty good for the Terps. Northwestern Wildcats 2-15 straight up last 17 games on the road.
I'm looking right here. It says number 3 on my thou shall list.
Fade Loxley.
Fade Loxley.
I mean, talk me into Northwestern, Colby. Do they have a pulse offensively? I'm worried about Maryland coming off a bye that they might just roll Northwestern.
Well, they were playing Indiana very similarly to Maryland, I would say. Like,
okay,
they were in that game. So, and then the real thing to me is Loxley's been terrible in Big Ten games. So.
Yeah, that's why we fade him.
I
right?
think that's an angle here, and I just think Northwestern. You look at it. Okay, the Washington game. That's that crazy. You're seeing. By the way, that's another thing that's going viral. All these teams are losing in these crazy time zone games. Like where you go to time zones over. John Wilner did a great article about how none of the teams are winning these games, and none of them are covering. But that Northwestern Washington game, I think you throw it out there. 24-5, they lose. The Indiana game, they were actually in. That was a closer game than what people think. And then, the Duke game, they lose in double overtime. I think they could stay within that number. College Park, no one will be at this game. Let me just tell you, as someone that grew up,
it will not be lit.
This will not be lit.
Really?
Look, Maryland fans connect with ACC opponents. They'll go to Big Ten games if it's like Ohio State.
Yeah.
Northwestern coming to town. Sorry, no one's going to this game.
All right, you're talking me into Northwestern. Fire up the car wash. Get the flying squirrels ready.
Go.
Kramer, what are you doing?
Well, you got to fade Loxley.
All right,
also,
simple as that.
I did like Colby's handicap of this isn't a couple time zones away, so we're safe.
This is a normal one. This is Chicago,
it's a normal
DC,
time zone travel. Okay.
Do you think it's this simple that kids aren't good with the body clock adjustments?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a pro athlete.
It's something that's not been. I mean, this kind of crazy travel discrepancy hasn't been. We haven't had this. I mean, look at UCLA.
Yeah, well, and then also you add in that these kids make a decent amount of money now.
Yeah,
like
lazy good for
you're
nothing.
You're gonna be doing Jaeger bombs all night the night before. What are you talking about here?
All right, Utah heading out to Tempe, Arizona. We were just out there. The dry heat is no joke. Arizona State catching 6 points at home after that sweet win, +195 on the money line. Utah -230, 45.5 is the total. 6:30 p.m. kickoff on the Pacific. Sean, something to sweat out during the show on Friday. Sports Gambling Podcast live on VSiN, 8 p.m. on the West Coast.
And apologies, the video feed is still fucked up. So
yeah, it's related to the internet.
Okay.
Okay, so thoughts on this game?
Thoughts on the game? Utah at Arizona State. This was interesting because Colby was trying to. I think he was trying to scare me into taking Utah. I thought I was going to be yelling forks up Arizona State. Cam Rising continues to threaten to play and then doesn't play, which is certainly a weird vibe. The Utes. They lost week 5 to Arizona. Wilson didn't look amazing there, threw 2 picks. But Sam Leavitt looked pretty good at home against Kansas State, was a willing runner, 10 for 77. It was funny walking around Arizona State after the game was over, where they didn't understand. I heard some of the fans going, "We're 4-1 and we're Arizona State. It doesn't make sense." Like they could not wrap their head around it. Utah coming off a bye, 21-13-2 ATS. So that is a little scary, but why I am going to take the Arizona State Sun Devils. Forks up. Shout out to my boy Sparky. Massive motivation. Utah came in, or last time they played Utah embarrassed them 55-3. There's a lot of guys on that roster who are part of that team last year who felt that humiliation. Give me Arizona State and the 6. Colby, what are you doing?
I feel like the line movement's telling you that Cam Rising is going to play. I mean, how long can you be injured for a little
what do you
trip
mean?
at the
We
water
went through
fountain?
this the entire last year. It has nothing to do with his injury. He's not playing because he's a crazy person.
Whittingham get right spot. There's talk about him retiring in the next couple years. He's still got a losing record in Tempe. This week, I have a feeling they purposely put the bye here on purpose for this. Utah gets the best of Arizona State.
Really?
Wow.
They're the more desperate team right here. They can't afford a second loss in the conference.
Second home game ever in the Big 12 for Arizona State. Now they know.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they had a lot of fight in against Kansas. The Arizona State I previously knew, they would have tucked their tail and just let that game slip away. There's a fight. There's a resilience. Being on that sideline, witnessing the passion.
He's got that fan base going.
Witnessing the
that
passion
team,
of the team, and they just I heard guys talking. They're like, get ready for Friday. Get a lot of rest. Get hydrated. And that heat is something that even the Kansas players, I think, were struggling with, especially late in the game. And I think the Utah players, that's not hot like that in Utah. I think they're going to feel it in Arizona State, even though it's a later kickoff. It's still hot as shit. So I think Arizona State plus the points. I'm liking it. And dogs have been barking big time on Friday night. Kramer, what do you got?
Well, I would say the environment was as expected. It's a good environment for college ball. We thought coming into the season, Utah was just going to dominate everyone. The line is certainly suggesting that Cam Rising is playing, right?
Yeah, because it opened up at like 3 or 4.
How confident are you, Colby?
It's the old bait and switch with Cam Rising. I mean, at some point, I'm not going to keep falling for Cam Rising threatening to play. I thought he was going to be out 2 plays. I thought he was going to be out a drive. Then I thought, okay, a quarter. Then it's going to be 1 game.
You can't be out for a month on a water cooler.
Yeah.
Right?
Have you met Cam Rising? How many games has he missed, Colby?
I can't. Yeah.
Why? If he was definitely playing, they would have announced it and said he's definitely fucking playing. Get ready. Because he's not playing. That's why they haven't said anything.
Whittingham Magic, lay it.
No way. You're crazy. They're not the same
on
team
the
on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Sean.
Forks up, baby. We believe.
Forks up. All right. Next up, we got Washington, and this is a potential time zone game. Let's circle it. We got Washington in Iowa City, Iowa, 9 a.m. here on the West Coast. Iowa laying 2.5. Trap -135 on the money line, +115 for the Huskies. 41.5 is the total. Pretty high total for an Iowa game. What am I missing here?
Yeah, well, what you're missing, or perhaps not missing, I don't know if you caught this, but the Huskies stormed the field against Michigan and then win,
baby,
and then Iowa got blown out in the second half against Ohio State. Get right spot.
I hate that this is 2.5, but Ferentz, if Ferentz loses this, he might be on the hot seat. I think this might be his last year, Colby.
He's winning this, and they're still going to the playoffs like we projected. They get this.
I mean, honestly, it is. If they do win this, they can probably close out 10-2 and have a really good case, especially with some of all the other top 25 teams that lost last week.
Let's go. Lay it. They're gonna win. This is a classic. I don't know. Give me a 22 to 12 final. Iowa gets it done.
Oh,
I'm worried about how good is Washington's defense, because I think defense is one of the things that travels. I don't know if defense can travel.
You a Steve Belichick guy?
I mean, that is a sweet haircut he has, but Washington's defense is playing pretty good.
It is.
Held all 6 opponents under 25 points. Not going to be a problem against Iowa. And I mean, let's look at it. I think these defenses are closer than people would say, might imagine. If you were just a TMZ fan, you might go, oh, Iowa definitely has a much better defense. Washington, they're just this pass happy team. But the way Washington's been winning, the way they beat Michigan was great defense. I don't know, man. I might be tempted to take Washington and the points. The fact, though, that they stormed the field, that is one of my angles of fading teams that storm the field. So I can't go against my own thing, but I am not locking this up. I'll take Iowa, Colby, but man, doesn't
Iowa
feel
just
right.
got humbled.
Yeah,
they just got humbled.
No, and they're coming back at home.
It's a trap number.
It's a trap number to make you take Iowa.
Yeah.
So you're taking Washington.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna fall for the trap.
Okay.
How do you not take Iowa here?
Well, I just laid it out. Washington has good defense. Washington and Iowa are in the.
Why is this total 41.5 then?
What do you mean?
should be 35.
No, I agree. Market's not caught up to how good their defense
Should
is.
we have a special total of the week this week? Iowa under.
Yeah, definitely the under.
All right, let's move along. Penn State. USC has to, or Penn State has to travel all the way to Los Angeles to take on USC. 12:30 on the West Coast. Well, this is an interesting match. Sean, will you be attending the game?
Yeah, never say never.
Penn
might
State
show up. I mean, if it was at UCLA, I would definitely be going.
Penn State -210.
Coliseum, not as good a venue. Rose Bowl's much better.
Really?
Yeah.
USC +175 for 50 and a half.
I've watched games at both. UCLA, the tailgating experience is much better at the Rose Bowl, and it's close enough I can walk from my house. So much better.
Both of those are fair.
Yeah,
but USC fans are way better.
You gotta do a tailgate.
They're more passionate fans, but they're more douchey. And as someone that's not a USC fan, I'd find them more annoying. So I would actually, again, when Penn State comes to UCLA, I'm definitely going to that game.
They're coming after. I mean, they're going to come after.
Have you met cool USC fans?
No, I'm agreeing with what you're saying. With the exception of, I think the vibe at. I've been to more good atmospheres at the Coliseum than at the Rose Bowl.
Oh, by far.
Oh, when they were
They're
good,
not even comparable to me.
When they were like
I mean, both stadiums are great.
Ryan, you were going during like the Reggie Bush era.
It was like
it was a different vibe.
Yeah, it was coming off that three-peat almost. All right. So in this case, Sean obviously will be on Penn State. Colby, what are you doing in this one?
I'm on USC. I think USC losing last week, they're the more desperate team here. And I also think Penn State's, you're ranked number 4 in the nation. Kind of a phony ranking.
Yeah,
there.
but
you know
those numbers don't mean shit.
Well, no,
I'll tell you what means something is in the trenches play. Penn State is going to fuck up Miller Moss, and that's all you need to know. If you know this offense, which has been struggling under Lincoln Riley, 6 turnovers last 2 games, and you have the again, Drew Aller is not good, but it doesn't matter. They have a great team around him. They might fuck it up, later on in the season, but the line play of Penn State is going to dominate USC. Dominate.
Are we sure Lincoln Riley's a good coach?
Are we sure James Franklin's ever won a big game?
That's true.
I will take USC.
Counter. Is this a big game?
For Penn State, certainly, because you still have Ohio State on the schedule.
I think we're going to look back and say, oh, yeah, this is 7-5 USC team. It won't look like a major win. And the line reflects it.
I actually think Penn State, they struggled against Bowling Green.
Singleton and Allen are going to run all over a USC defense, 98th in success rate on the defensive side, 106 in early down EPA, 100th in EPA per rush allowed. You can play smash mouth football against this USC team. And Ryan, you say the Coliseum's a rocket environment. I guarantee you it's close to 50-50. There are going to be a ton of Penn State fans traveling out for that, and a bunch of East Coast Penn State people at that game.
You think it'll be 50-50?
Not 50. It'll be like 40% Penn State fans.
Yeah,
you'll be surprised how many Penn State fans show up for this game.
I think perhaps maybe you're underestimating also the power of the USC dollar and all the. I don't know. I don't know.
USC supports their team when they're awesome, but not when they're, what are they, 3-2?
Yeah, I still think there's enough of just the glamour of what the program is right now.
The glamour of Miller Moss.
Okay. I think you're.
Caleb Williams left a billion. He had star power. People would see that team because, oh, hey, this guy's going to be the greatest generational talent. He's in the Heisman race. They found that interesting. I don't think Miller Moss is the same draw as Caleb Williams.
Perhaps not, but I think the USC fan base and the experience at the Coliseum is definitely superior to the Rose Bowl, where the Penn State fans would be probably a 50-50 situation.
50-50 is high, but I'm saying there's going to be some loud Penn State fans at that game.
Maybe. Colby, you going?
No, because the Red River Shootout's on exactly the same time. If they had switched this time zones or times for the kicks, the Red River Shootout's like the game I look forward to every year. So, but Penn State, you see, James Franklin did complain about the travel. Said he wants a bigger airport in State College because
he was annoyed by that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, guys, you're making enough money. Throw some asphalt on the ground so they don't got to drive down to wherever the fuck they got to go to fly
or
out.
just don't have a team in Los Angeles in your fucking conference.
Well, no, but if you're gonna be one of
That's
the,
college football.
if you're gonna
So
be,
stupid.
I'm sure James Franklin voted against it. He doesn't want to fly out to USC.
if you're gonna be one of the rich schools, you gotta button up all the things that make you a rich school.
What do you? So you have to build an airport for conference play?
No, but you know what the
That's crazy.
Did you read like so the runway isn't long enough for them to fly on a plane big enough to go cross country.
Yeah.
That would not be a hard thing to solve if you're making this much money on a football.
Have you ever seen the Penn State Airport?
Figure it
State
out.
College Airport?
Figure it out.
You're gonna rebuild an airport.
No, just
for conference games. That's insane.
What?
You act like you could just extend runways. Like, oh, hey, just send a guy out there with some macadam and extend the runway.
Well, there's generally a lot of dead space at the end of a runway for that exact reason.
Okay.
What? Why do you think this is so dumb?
I don't understand why it's such a big deal. When I flew into Columbia, I landed on like a farm.
If you money grab, why not make it more convenient for the team? And yeah, I do think that if the coach is complaining, it's on their mind as they travel to Los Angeles, a city filled with distraction.
Oh, I think USC is live to win the game.
Colby,
I think USC is gonna get him. Yeah.
You guys don't know college football. I mean, the physicality, the ground and pound, the styles.
Well, yeah, for
This
a
is
team that's tired and a little sleepy because of the travel, and they had the extra bus ride because their airport couldn't accommodate them.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
Colby, you
The
agree
game
with me,
kicks off at noon local time. That's 3:00 Pennsylvania time.
It's a weird time for the
the body clocks will be all ruined.
All ruined.
All right. You know what's not ruined? UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code SGPN. Get in over there. Use the promo code SGPN. Get a 50% deposit match up to $1,000. Oh my God. We got some higher lowers. Colby, I think it's fun to give some of these out for. I mean, there's a bunch of weekday games.
I was going to say one of the
What's-
ones that caught my eye and refreshed me on the exact number here is Tyler Huff rushing. I think it was like 81 maybe or
honey,
something.
Go make me a sandwich and grab me that underdog projection.
You know what I'm talking about.
Tyler Huff.
Sean's got it. That was the joke.
No, why I don't get the joke.
No, I was making just. Colby's like ordering you around.
Oh, because Colby doesn't know how to enter Huff into the search bar.
No, I don't have my phone. It's charging out
You'd
there.
be surprised.
Colby, they have a website.
I know, but there's a long story on this because it doesn't get my location.
Okay.
And then a lot of times it does. So it's you know.
He's got the rotary phone. All right, Tyler Huff, higher 78.5 rushing yards, and that is explain to people what game that is.
So Jacksonville State plays tomorrow night, and Rich Rodriguez runs the hell out of all of his quarterbacks. He's always done that.
Wednesday night.
Yeah, Wednesday night.
Okay,
CUSA action. If you want more on that, check out the College Football Experience. But Huff is a stud. All right, like this is a guy that was FCS quarterback of Furman last year. They were starting the wrong quarterback here when he transferred over to Jacksonville State for a while there. You look at what he's done lately. Getting used to this Rich Rod offense. He rushed for 111 yards against Louisville, and then last week, so he came in the Louisville game, but last week he rushed for 176 against Kennesaw. The week before, 77 yards. The week before that, 80, and those were his first 3 starts there. So I think he's going to continue to do that. New Mexico State's run defense, one of the worst in the nation. I think they're going to exploit that. Give me the higher on the rushing prop there with Tyler Huff.
I'm just laughing at the chat. Jason saying Sean from the PA area, never heard macadam till I moved here. For the audience, it's asphalt. LOL. Yeah, I didn't realize that was a regional reference. So Colby, what is something else we're gonna pair with Tyler Huff on? I guess we'll stick it Wednesday night.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say maybe something later in the week. Just in case you're listening after Wednesday.
Okay, good idea, Ryan. What about the Chanticleers? We got Ethan Vasco, we got Jamison Tucker. I always like a good JMO.
What's the Vasco situation there?
226.5 passing yards, half interception, half anytime touchdown, 1.5 passing touchdowns. What do we like?
Sean's like a personal fantasy projection dealer.
I'm a fantasy butler. Yes, sir. Would you like some Ethan Vasco?
Do they have a anything rushing there?
Oh, let me hit more picks. No, they don't have his rushing yards up. They do have longest completion. They got rushing and receiving touchdown.
I mean, he has been lighting it up. He just threw for 367 against Old Dominion.
226.5. He can get there.
I think he can get there too.
All right. So higher Ethan Vasco, 226.5 passing yards, and higher Tyler Huff, 78.5 rushing yards.
Another angle that I like about that is Vasco is from Virginia, so he's going to JMU. Probably didn't recruit him. Revenge match up there. Let's go.
UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Kramer, Red River Rivalry.
Delightful.
We don't say shootout. Bleep it out if Colby accidentally says
Red
shootout.
River Shootout.
Oh, come on.
I'll say it.
We're gonna get canceled. We're gonna get demonetized.
It's already
for
happened.
promoting gun violence on YouTube.
Texas, Oklahoma, 12:30 p.m. on the West Coast. So I already noticed the time has changed. Texas laying 14.5 minus 650 on the money line. Oklahoma plus 475. 49.5 is the total. Where is this being played, Colby?
The world famous Cotton Bowl, the greatest stadium of them all.
So that's good, but why are they playing this at 12:30?
Yeah, this is an interesting handicap on this. Is that people will be a lot drunker in this game.
It's normally the first game.
Yeah, it's normally right at 9 a.m. This is that TV exec bullshit coming in there and saying we're gonna move the game to this time. So
what time is it local time? That's 2:30 then.
Yeah, but that's a lot more. It's at the Texas State Fair.
It's normally 11 a.m. local time.
Yeah, you can't be sober at the Texas State Fair.
They're
cholesterol.
But they clearly didn't have the. They might be okay changing the name.
Sean,
but watch out for the kids.
They don't really care about. Yeah, you can't care about people's safety when you're having the the fucking shootout at 2:30. You know how hard it would be to stay sober at the Texas State Fair for 6 hours.
I just picture like kids like sitting there.
That's 3.5 hours.
What's
after
that game where you're
imagine you have a game. You go every year, and you have your body's already programmed to get really drunk by 11 a.m. And now you give them 2.5 extra hours to get 3 hours to get extra drunk.
TV execs are going to get overruled by city ordinance.
Well, so what time do you think the drinking starts?
7 a.m.
Yeah,
kegs and eggs.
So,
that's what we call it.
So 7 a.m. So we're doubling the preparedness time.
Well, and it's like a family Texas State Fair. It's just this is a disaster. There's gonna be vomiting next to kids sitting there playing the duck game.
That is a disgusting act.
One of the worst spots you can put yourself in is in a heavy tailgate situation before a football game where the food's gonna be really good. Because you're gonna overdo it.
Yeah,
you're gonna overdo it, and then at some point you're gonna realize, like, wow, I'm gonna have to take a shit or throw up in some undesirable location.
It's just gonna be hilarious because you got families there too. But hey, don't use the word shootout, Sean. But hey,
don't you have to
let these families see this debauchery?
There's no handicap here. You just take the points.
Always in this game. I'm shocked at this.
14.5. Is this real?
And Quinn Ewers might not even play. He's questionable. I personally think he's going to play because they want. I mean, Oklahoma's kind of owned this rivalry lately.
Plus 475 for Oklahoma. 49.5 is the total. Texas, like I said, laying 14.5. This is incredible.
Yeah, I think in a rivalry game, I'm always going to lean to the dog, but especially Oklahoma season. I mean, they're not going to make the college football playoff. What are they playing for? They're playing to beat Texas. This is their season.
Make the playoff.
What do they have to do?
Just keep
win out.
Yeah.
I mean, what are their odds to make the?
They're 19th in the. I mean,
they only have one loss. So, but I don't think they're going to. But I just think.
I'm just saying, everyone's still alive with the beauty of the new playoff that they graciously invented with their wisdom and knowledge.
I guess in my mind, I had written them
Sean,
off.
Remember when they were convinced that more playoff games would make the regular season less interesting?
So they're 15-1 to make the college football playoff. So.
Is that not the worst take in the history of, like, we all knew it was a bad take when they were having it, and now looking back, it's like, you idiots. The 12, like look how much more.
No, you're right.
For all these years we missed out on that.
Idiots.
It's 15-1. If they do beat Texas, obviously those odds dramatically change.
They're right in there.
Either way, this is Oklahoma's entire season. If Texas drops this game, it's not the end of the world. They've been playing really well. so I think they're going to be fine regardless.
Sark's team getting randomly beaten the fuck up by a physical team.
Yeah, no, Oklahoma all day. They're a live dog, 14.5. Let's go.
I'm with you. Give me the points all day.
Oh, we ride
2 weeks
together.
To prep. I mean, obviously for both teams, but Oklahoma defensively, I think can.
It's a kitchen sink game for Oklahoma.
Discord's got a heavy card this week.
Discord's got Texas, Washington, Maryland, Memphis.
All right, Sean, you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Because we're going from a shootout to just a despicable place on this earth, aka Charlottesville, Virginia. There's some decent people there. Both sides, I think, is what was said. Louisville, which I've been complimented many times by one of us on the show pronouncing Louisville correctly, and the other two hosts disrespecting the great city of Louisville by saying Louisville. It's not a slugger. Louisville -7.5.
Oh wait, that is where they make them, right?
Yeah, I understand.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I was getting inside the heads of our listeners there. Plus 230 on the money line for UVA, who I guess is decent at football this year. Maybe 54.5 is the total. Louisville and SMU was a pretty solid game last week, Colby.
I thought it was Brent Pry that was supposed to turn this corner. Is it really Tony Elliott?
Oh no!
Is he stealing the Virginia faithful and the talent?
out,
the Hokies
UVA.
are fine.
Putting a fence up over around Virginia?
No one talked about it, but the Hokies did just go from at Miami back to back at Stanford. Took care of business. I mean, that's, you want to talk about tough travel spots.
Took care of business by losing to Miami by dropping a Hail Mary.
No, the Stanford game after after the demoralizing absolute just handle job by the refs.
Bragging about beating Stanford. I see how.
No, I'm just saying that is a difficult bounce back spot. I mean, it is. It's very difficult. Anyway, good luck. Are you picking UVA?
No.
You got Bill Gates as your long snapper over there in Stanford.
UVA was getting beat down by Boston College. They rallied, scored I think 18 in the fourth. Got that done. But I still think Louisville and SMU is back and forth game. I think Louisville's offense. And they're the more desperate team really in this spot as if for a contender. I don't think Virginia's a real contender. They've had a nice little season so far. It comes crashing down here. The line's even reflecting that. I think Tyler Shuck and company go in there and take care of business. I like laying the 7.5.
Oh, really? You think Louisville? This is a get up spot for them?
Colby really likes Louisville this year.
I mean,
just for the audience,
it just, to me, there's been some inconsistency with Louisville's offense. That is what scares me. And
it's like and like you're getting punched in the gut.
UVA has been pretty good against the number. The only game they didn't cover was when the Terps beat them 27-13. I don't know. The Louisville.
What is a
pretty
Wahoo?
banged up.
Look it up.
They're missing. There's missing some guys. I'm gonna go with UVA here as a home dog. Actually, I don't. I
like your
mean,
tiki torch, Sean.
Yes,
it keeps the bugs away and other other pests.
Look at the pigment of that man's skin. Fit right in there in Charlottesville.
No, hate has no place here in this show, but UVA does.
That's why you go to Charlottesville.
7.5. That is a big number for a home. I just don't think Louisville. This feels like a game. This is going to be like a 4-point game.
This is the worst pick you've had in a long
Patty
time.
C is going to be shotgunning Michelob Ultras, getting his blood, taking his blood pressure, realizing he's near death, and cheering on UVA while they almost win this game.
Let's make a reminder. Nominate this for one of Sean's worst picks of the season.
Oh wow! So you're taking Louisville, right?
Of course, I'm taking Louisville.
Okay.
One of the things I think we should note is
they have no home field there.
That definitely
you
note
UVA.
that. One of the things.
Have you been there? I mean, if I wasn't a hater of UVA, I would still tell you it's one of the worst home environments in FBS football.
And it doesn't make sense because the stadium's actually beautiful, but it's
just a wine and cheese crowd. They dress up like they want to be in the SEC with their fucking dresses,
like khakis and a sharp
their
polo.
dresses and their polo shirts. Sean's fitting right in.
Well, one of the things that stood out to me,
button all the way up to the top,
when they played Maryland, was the amount of pressure Maryland was able to put on. Maryland had a clear edge on the D line. Louisville's D line, I think, can cause problems. Calandria is a wild quarterback. He'll run around. but he'll make some great plays, but he'll also make some bonehead plays, especially when he's pressured. That's the difference in the game.
Justin Wood, aka from the Justin in the Jungle podcast, UVA already scheduled their bowl game for January 6th. I don't know what he's implying there, but UVA.
Shout out to Justin, hell of a good guy. Yeah,
and his poor Bengals, R.I.P. Not great start for the Bengals. Kramer, what do we got? Florida, Tennessee,
excellent.
Florida, Georgia line.
Oh wow, you gonna do some singing? All right, let's talk about Florida and Tennessee. Tennessee, I don't think they were expecting to lose last week.
No,
to those heathens from Arkansas. Florida now catching 15.5 plus 500 on the money line as they come to town. Minus 700 for the Vols. 55.5 is the total. Reminder: I'm no longer going to be betting on UCF the rest of the season. Speaking of Florida, so Tennessee with the bounce back spot. Clearly, the number is telling us that that's what they expect here.
How many losing seasons has Florida had, like in the past 10 years?
Is the answer 0?
No, it's a decent amount. I feel like they've had a decent amount, but I'm looking at this, Kramer. Look at this dominance.
Oh wow!
In this rivalry,
Tennessee has not won a lot of the games.
Even when they win, they barely win. I'm going to use the same logic for the Red River Shootout that I'm using here. Tennessee's offense has looked like shit against Arkansas and really against Oklahoma, which are really the only two teams with a pulse that they've played. NC State, they're the pussy pack, and the pussy pack can never be taken seriously. So I think Florida looked pretty good last week. Give me the points all day here. I actually think it's worth a sprinkle.
Really? You don't like Josh Heupel's teams at home coming off a bad loss.
They have Alabama next week, dude.
Yeah, but can it be a look ahead after you lost to Arkansas?
Yes, 100%.
Well, how about this though? Florida has won. They've only lost to Tennessee twice since 2005.
Yeah,
both were in Knoxville, but by 5 points and by 10 points. Yeah. You're getting 14.5,
15.5
all day.
Yeah,
I think it's worth a sprinkle. I think it's worth a money line sprinkle there.
Sean, this number.
So wait, Graham Mertz is starting. No thanks. No thanks. No, you guys almost got me to bet on Graham Mertz. Nice fucking try. Tennessee minus 15.5. No way. You can take all your trends and shove them up your hairy ass. I'm not betting on Graham Mertz. That's where I was like, oh yeah, it's SEC game. Okay, yeah. Look ahead. Nice try. You guys got me almost. Tennessee.
What does Steve Spurrier say? You can't spell Citrus Bowl without Tennessee.
There you go. Sure.
All right. Ole Miss now over at 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast in Baton Rouge. Ole Miss, LSU catching 3.5 points at home. All right, plus 140 on the money line. Ole Miss minus 165. 63.5 is the total. Did you see the video of Lane Kiffin just completely ignoring the reporters so we could watch the end of that Alabama game? That was enjoyable. Yeah. So I don't know. Like, on one hand, I kind of do think it'd be great if this is the year that Lane Kiffin wins the SEC and it's just him that bye week. That's it. Doesn't get it. I mean, I guess they're kind of. Are they good?
No, I'm not sold. No.
I mean, certainly
like a typical Lane Kiffin
win early-ish in the season. I mean, he
looks confident. He's not fucking around. He's not doing his normal bullshit.
I just don't know why is Ole Miss favored by 3.5 here? I don't know if LSU should be favored, but I feel like this should be a little closer to pick, and winning back-to-back road spots in conference. Like, that doesn't feel like the Lane Kiffin I know. Lane's teams, don't they historically struggle on the road in a hostile electric environment?
This is different though.
I like LSU as a home dog. I think
I love LSU.
It's tough to go into Death Valley.
Yes.
I mean, just start right there. LSU is a home dog. Throughout the years, they're going to get up for this game.
Oh my god, dude! And I don't know if you guys remember this. Ole Miss stormed the field on them last year in Oxford.
Yes.
And to me, this is a great handicap for Brian Kelly because Ole Miss loves to play pussy ball. Brian Kelly loves to play pussy ball. The shoe fits here.
They match up, and the difference will be a couple defensive stops that LSU gets
with that crowd behind them, with that drunken crowd behind them. They've only won once in Baton Rouge in the past 20 years. No, LSU all day. Give me the money line. They're going to win this game outright.
Dog. I'll take the favorite.
Wow.
I think there's something different about Lane this year, and I think this is statement number one.
All right.
On his trip to the number 1 overall seed. I need to redo my playoff bracket.
You know, Kentucky beat him 2 weeks ago.
I know.
Okay.
But they're still going to go on to win the SEC. I'm telling you, I've seen it in a dream. I mean, again, Lane he has a different look to him. He's focused. This is a big game, and I see the chalk is on LSU, so I'm going to lay the 3.5. Ohio State. This is the game of the weekend. They're taking on Oregon. We were talking about what this line might be, Sean. Oregon is catching 3 at home.
I said I would have made it Ohio State by 7.
Yeah.
Like this is
plus 135. Ohio State minus 155. 53.5 is the total.
I keep betting against Oregon and they keep not covering. I mean, that Michigan State, yes, that was a gift, but they've struggled and they've played down in the competition. And Dylan Gabriel, you're at home against Michigan State on a Friday night. You're like a fringe Heisman candidate. This is when you pad your fucking stats, not throw 2 interceptions in the end zone. You could, the Circa has those giant screens. I could see his sweaty hands. He was nervous against Michigan State at home.
That's probably the football gods from years of playing like a pussy with your abrupt slide.
I mean, now you have Ohio State.
You'll never forget that.
Ohio State, a legit physical powerhouse that just put it on. Iowa.
Yeah.
And now they get Oregon. Are you kidding me? Have you seen this Oregon team try and tackle? Like I mean, Ohio State will be able to impose their will. The receivers for Ohio State are insane. I would take this as an alternate line. Like I'm putting this in a pleaser. Like if you can get Ohio State minus 13.5, I think do it.
Oh, college football pleasers would be diabolical. Sean.
This is, I think they're going to butt fuck the Ducks.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Quack, quack, quack.
We were discussing. This is the one game we were discussing. Like, how is Ohio State not just going to come out here and absolutely fucking roll?
Let's add on to that. This game is
Ryan Day doesn't lose to anyone, but Michigan.
Fuck your times.
No, that's my point. Is Oregon? This game was scheduled before Oregon joined the Big Ten. Oregon went to the Horseshoe and beat Ohio State with Ryan Day. This is a revenge game. This is what I'm saying. Like this was already on the schedule.
Yes.
This is when.
Is this a conference game?
Yes, and then you add in Chip Kelly. He knows about knows about that
Little
field.
Chip, the ultimate, the first Benedict.
And don't worry, Chip. Randy Cross won't be there to whoop your ass. But no, I think Ohio State's the play. I think Ohio State's the play here. I will lay the 3. Oregon just hasn't looked the part. They haven't had that gear.
This number stinks.
Yeah, you're on the Ducks? Or no?
No, I'm on Ohio State. I'm
the
gonna fall for the trap again. This is a lock.
No, the only thing that scares you off Ohio State is it's just too easy. It's just too easy. And
Colby, is this not the best team in the country?
Maybe Oregon's been.
Well, I mean, they haven't played enough where I feel great about that.
But maybe Oregon's in cruise control. But usually you would still have some spots where like you beat up on some inferior competition.
They're learning how to play in close games, Sean. For better.
I mean, Boise State they almost lost to at home. I mean, yeah, they put on Oregon State in Corvallis, but I don't know, man. Like even UCLA was hanging around in that game. Like and even Michigan State, like Michigan State doesn't fumble going into the end zone on that first drive. I don't know. Oregon just does not seem to be a well put together, a well-oiled machine. And I guess they are making them the home dog here, but Ohio State by a mile.
Yeah, this is our donkey play of the week. Next up, 4:45 on the West Coast.
It's Dominic the Donkey.
I can only assume we're talking about this game because one of these teams dumped Gatorade last week. Vanderbilt, after coming off literally the greatest win in the history of their program, for many different reasons. If you haven't listened to Feinbaum take a call from Legend in Alabama, a Roll Tide fan, absolutely legendary. Vanderbilt dumped they didn't just dump one thing of Gatorade. They actually dumped 2 Gatorades on their head coach. They now take to the road and they're catching 14 points against Kentucky team that I imagine at this point, Colby Stoops is probably starts to need to get some of these wins for that contract extension bonus. -550 on the money line for Kentucky. Vanderbilt +425, 46.5 is the total. I think, what is it? He wins 7. It activates a 1-year extension and some sort of pay increase. He's probably going to get there. Yeah. What do you do with Vanderbilt here? Because I know you think they're good, Colby.
This is
That's
interesting.
I don't think it's a gimmick. Like, the line is reflecting that it's a gimmick, and I don't buy into it. I think they should have beat Missouri if they had a kicker that could make a field goal. They were better than Missouri. They were better than Virginia Tech. They were better than Alabama. I watched that game again yesterday morning. That game was like they just pushed Alabama around. There was no gimmick there. So to me, like, going here, yeah, it'll be a lit environment, and I think they might have their attention a little bit more. But still, the game on deck for Kentucky and Stoops. This is like a known thing if you follow the Kentucky program. Is he actually named the game? I don't remember it, but what he named it. But the Florida game, they go to Florida next. So that's been like the game that he to establish the program was like, that's the game we got to get every year, right? And so that is on deck. So it is a little bit of a look ahead spot. But to me, like, I don't think Kentucky should be favored over 14 against any Power 5 team in the country. Maybe not even Purdue or Mississippi State. So to me, you're getting 14.
Yeah, no, it's weird because
is there an injury?
I mean, literally they took the goalposts and like walked
Cumberland River
down, put it in the river and
3
walked
miles
it downtown.
away.
And Pavia is going to be hung over for 4 days, but it's 14 points for a Kentucky team that I don't know if they really deserve it. And Vanderbilt, not bad at slowing down the run. And to your point, it could be a little look ahead spot.
Well, and I just think like Beck is great at scheming guys open. Their OC, he was with Pavia the past 2 years at New Mexico State. Same with Jerry Kill. So like,
and Kentucky's coming off a bye. So how much, if they're being honest, you don't think they're also preparing a little bit for Florida?
Of course,
like
that's been
during that bye
game
week
for years. So
you think they're completely locked in on Vanderbilt?
I don't think so, and I just think it's too many points. I think and that's another thing is like Pavi's still being caught in F. You don't think that dude has a chip on his shoulder?
Right, and perfect time to remind the audience. Not only do Colby and I like it, but Rhythm AI model likes it as well. They're projecting this as a 69.2% cover, and that is at 13.5 points. We're picking this at 14.
What wasn't Virginia Tech 13.5 point favorites? What happened? Remember when Hokie Nation thought they were better than Diego Pavia?
That was a fluke. We thought it was because Virginia Tech was bad. Just turns out it was Vanderbilt was awesome, almost as awesome as Rhythm. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/RITHMM. Get your 7-day free trial. My model likes it. My model has it as Vandy only getting 8.5. And they also like Vandy as a live dog at 4-1. They think the percentages make sense there. Again, build your own models. Get going. College football, NFL. They've been on a heater with props, NFL and college football. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/RITHMM. We're in the lab. Kramer, are you in the lab? Are you going to cross streams with Diego Piss and Pavia? The last reason of why I really like this is, as Colby mentioned, Pavia a dog and a willing runner. That has really opened up this offense. And you can tell, like, when Virginia Tech was coming back in that game, there's been moments in this Vandy season where he's like, fuck it, I'm going to just put the team on my back. I'm going to carry the ball.
He is a fucking winner, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, he'll do whatever it takes. Because
if Kentucky gets out to a big lead, I don't think he's afraid to just say, you know what, fuck the passing game. I'm going to pound the rock. We're going to figure this out.
Yeah, I'll take Vanderbilt. I mean, they dumped Gatorade, multiple things at Gatorade.
Kramer, can you take Kentucky?
Give me Kentucky. I want to fade the Gatorade dump. I can't believe you're not. Can't believe you're doing this.
Colby and I talked sometimes before the show, and he was winning me.
5 p.m. on the West Coast. We're heading to Morgantown, West Virginia. Speaking of crazy ass towns, in fact, Colby and I were sharing different pepper spray stories from Morgantown this weekend with some listeners.
Lovely place for a nice pepper spray mist.
West Virginia, +3. Yeah, what they call them, the Smoky Mountains, because of all the pepper spray. +3 West Virginia is as a home dog. What's going on here? +130 on the money line. Iowa State -150. 53.5 is the total. All right, so this is a battle between two of the weird road trips in the Big 12. There's probably at least there's a bus ride, a plane ride, probably a connecting flight.
They didn't build a new airstrip in Morgantown to accommodate conference play.
Wow.
No, I'm saying if we're building, if we're readjusting airports.
I don't understand Sean's take here. Is he just being sensitive?
No, it's just
Penn State's a massive university.
I wish they would have made a airport and runway because Bob Huggins probably would have known what stadium.
I mean,
air traffic control. You are not cleared for takeoff. I'm just trying to find the Taco Bell, Burger King. No, they got one of those Burger King, Pizza Hut, Taco Bells.
He'd still be coaching, damn it! All right,
sir, you're not sober enough to operate this aircraft.
Look, Iowa State's been a team that's been very good, and I keep eating shit going against them. But I think this is finally where it happens, right? I mean, as long as there's not a lightning delay, because I feel like that really hurt the Morgantown crowd.
Yeah, play that game again. Play that game.
Penn State was a much better team. They were always going to kick their ass.
Probably, I don't know, but that still hurt the energy of the crowd.
Who was that coach saying we'd win that game? Oh, the Auburn, Hugh Freeze. Wasn't that him that said like 9 out of 9 times? And then and then he destroyed the quarterback confidence, lose on a hilarious pick six head in the game.
Exactly.
Fuckers costing that money.
But Rocco Becht is playing well, but I just tend to think Morgan. This is, and by the way, another thing that really hurt West Virginia against Penn State. That was a 9 a.m. kick. This is a night game. Yeah. This place is gonna be bonkers. Top 15 team coming into Morgantown.
Kramer, he censored himself. He said he was about to say this was gonna be lit, but at the last second he goes, "I can't use lit again. I gotta mix it
lit,
up."
Bonkers, bananas. All right, can we get a T-shirt with lit, bonkers, bananas?
It's like a slot machine.
It's his internal. Saurus. He's like, all right, quickly swap.
No, I'm with Colby. This is a tough travel spot for Iowa State, and Mountaineers look pretty good against Oklahoma.
We're on Stormwatch shot here. Yeah. Stormwatch in effect
as 3-point home dogs.
Still,
hey guys, we're only plus 130 on the money line. No need to run out. You don't get
top 15 teams in there every day. So
no, they have this game circled. I think this is a nice get up spot for them. Late night kick. You got the coal rush in effect. I think this is a good situation spot for them.
They do have Kansas State coming to town next week too, another ranked team. So maybe Colby will be running back the same argument. Yeah, I mean the tipping point here is you have a full day of pregame festivities. West Virginia take the points. Money line in potential here, maybe too small for the college show. Speaking of that Kansas State team, they're playing late night Saturday football, 7:15 on the West Coast. From the Boulder. For Colby's favorite team in the land, the Colorado Buffaloes /Bison.
We come
Colorado +4 +155 on the money line. Kansas State -185, 56.5 is the total. I heard Colby trying to help Patty C come during the college experience show earlier tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that what's going on there?
Seems like Patty C is not coming yet all the way. On Colorado, and Colby was trying to help him get there.
Oh wait, Patty C hating some flashy players.
Yeah,
he play a certain style of football, super athletes. I couldn't see that coming. High elevation home dogs.
Hopefully he comes.
Colorado, Avery Johnson on the road. No thanks. Buffs coming off a bye. And I thought they did the Colorado defense did a pretty good job against KJ Jefferson. You also have a man by the name of Travis Hunter, who is the best player in college football. No shame on the running back from Boise State, Ginty,
who is incredible.
It was awesome. I get, to me, you have to give it to a guy who's playing both sides of the field. Like he's playing both sides of the field
at an unbelievably high level.
Yeah, it's not like he's just average on both sides or really good at one and like, oh, they let him run a couple routes on the offensive side, or he's an awesome receiver and then and like some crazy dime packages he sees the field. No, I mean the way he closed on that ball and that one interception against UCF, I was like, holy shit.
He tackles too,
and he's a willing tackler.
It's honestly like criminal. Like this is shit. And I would say this if he was playing at fucking Iowa State.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
He is doing things that we have not seen on a football field, and it's must watch TV every single time he steps on the field.
And didn't we see this script already? Kansas State. Why did they get fucked up? Because they went on the road at elevation and were big favorites against a team that was maybe inferior, but got up for that spot. And Colorado's coming off a bye. This is a smash.
BYU is a more well-coached team than this Colorado team.
All right, but certainly Colorado's much better athletes than BYU. Where's their Travis Hunter or Shedeur Sanders on BYU, Ryan?
Wow. Okay.
No, I'm telling you. Did they have those kind of playmakers?
Some 29-year-old Mormon.
Yeah.
I don't think it wouldn't be safe for anyone.
Shedeur on his own mission of getting fucking touchdowns and releasing rap
Be a
albums.
different kind of two-way player if he was let loose in
He's
Provo.
saving souls by dropping sweet rhymes and cashing in his NIL Ferrari. Different life.
Here's the reason why you want to take the Buffs.
Oh, okay.
Is Avery Johnson, who
looking on the road.
Yeah, on the road he's really struggled. In general, he's struggled. Like passing the ball, aside from the Oklahoma State game, he's played what, including even the FCS game, he has only thrown over 200 yards once, right? And on the road, he has. I mean, look at that. He's completed 53% of his passes against BYU, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. At Tulane, they should have lost too. He didn't play well there at Tulane. I'm telling you, the guy he's young, and I think he's gonna be good, but he's not there yet, and that's why I'm a skeptic on Kansas State. And I'm getting 4 points with the Buffs. I'll take the better quarterback at home with a defense that's vastly improved, especially against the run. Well, what are you going to do with a quarterback on the road who struggles passing the ball? You're going to run the ball. So Colorado's going to have to bottle that up. And they've proven that they've actually been pretty good against the run.
So you're not worried about the trenches in this game?
I think the trenches they've been better at.
Colorado's D line's actually decent. Like the O line is still a work in progress.
All right. Oh man, really feels like I should just continue to fade Colorado.
Why? Is it paying dividends?
It's not a horrible strategy. There's been some wins and some losses this year.
I mean, the UCF money line was pretty awesome.
Just the data suggests this. Colby it makes good points. The data is skewed by the fact that maybe the home road splits for the quarterback aren't accounted for in the numbers. What are the betting splits? I'll let that be my decider.
Oh, public knows the good value when they see it.
Whoa. Okay, I'm looking at something. Give me Kansas State. Give me Kansas State. Seeing some movers, the wrong kind of movers on Colorado. Short number. I make this 8.5, Sean.
Lock Dog and Tease brought to you by our merch store. Head over to our merch store. Merch Mondays are back, 15% off. If you buy merch on Monday, use the promo code Monday, 50% off everything. Look at this sweet ass SGP camo hat. We got a bunch of camo gear. Colby rocking the college
TCE,
experience, basketball sweatshirt, hoodie. It's got the TC camo hat on.
Season's right around the corner, guys. For basketball.
I think he stole that actually.
Yeah.
He might have stolen that hat from the merch store.
Gave out a bunch of hats on our trip, so shout out to us. But let's get to it, Ryan. Lock Dog Tease bonus lock. What do you got?
Yeah, well, we discussed this earlier. The first lock is Ohio State.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
What else you got?
Let's go dog next.
Okay.
Tennessee just complete meltdown here. Give me Tennessee on the money line.
Tennessee on the money line.
Florida on the money line.
Ryan.
I said Tennessee meltdown. Florida on the money line.
Well, I mean, so let me before I type this in, Graham Mertz, you're betting on.
Yes.
Okay.
Fading this Tennessee situation.
No. Okay. Graham Mertz, solid quarterback.
More than solid on this Saturday. Next lock. It does seem like Iowa -2.5 is a trap, but I'm going to fall for it.
Ooh. All right.
Falling through both traps.
What do you got for the tease?
Well, JMU in a bounce back spot. So we're going to lay the 3.5. We're going to bring USC up to 11.5. Feels nice.
Miller Moss is going to get destroyed.
And then we'll take West Virginia up to 9. Strike that from the record. Louisville down to 1.5.
That's a better tease.
Yeah.
All right.
I am on a teaser, a teeter. That's a heater and a teaser mixed together.
lot of stuff I like in this card.
Yeah, actually, get Florida off my card. Give me Oklahoma to win the.
Okay.
And stay big, but get Florida.
What's Oklahoma's money line price?
475.
Wow, that is pretty juicy. You stole my dog there, right?
No, I didn't.
What do you mean you didn't?
I just made a late swap.
All right, I do like Oklahoma on the money line. I'll say Colorado on the money line. This is an interesting card. You know what? Lock number 1, give me LSU plus 3.5. Lock number 2, Ohio State -3. For my dog, give me. I like Arizona State. Unless Cam Rising plays, he's not going to play.
You can't get involved in that shit.
I'm going to parlay. I'm going to parlay Colorado and Oklahoma, but I'll go Colorado on the money line plus 155. High elevation dogs. It's my brand.
You got that little dog sound effect?
No, I mean,
okay.
I mean, I don't like any of the other Northwestern. I'm not betting on them on the road. I'd rather, I might be betting some of these. I'm going to bet, and look at this: the Friday slate of Chanticleers, Northwestern, Arizona State. I think I bring back the. Oh wait, no, Chanticleers play Thursday.
Yeah,
fuck that then. All right, so.
But we will have Northwestern Maryland and Utah, Arizona State.
For my team, you know what? I'm going to go Vandy money line. Fuck this.
Yeah, there we go.
That's
there you go.
Way. Go in there and piss all over that Kroger.
So then I will make. I do like Ohio State. All right, so I'll put Colorado up to 10. Colorado is also basically a bonus lock.
Really?
Yes. Colorado up to 10. Oklahoma up to 20.5, and then I'll do. I mean, if you ever were to tease through 0, Iowa might be the candidate, but I'll do Penn State as a pick 'em.
Yeah, I think teasing Iowa to plus 3.5 is okay.
Colby, what do you got?
We're locking Iowa -2.5 against Washington.
Nice. Yep, that's a good.
We're also locking Louisville -7.5 at the Tiki Torch. We are.
They say they burn those only to keep the bugs away.
We're taking the dog as USC plus 175. I mean, there's a lot of dogs on this card that are juicy though. I kind of like the pissing Pavia and go.
So you're gonna spit in Sean's face and take USC money line. I like this.
I like this too. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. It does seem like Sean's getting more emotionally attached to this Penn State team than
they'll fuck it up, but not here.
You gonna donate to the runway, Sean?
This kind of feels like the time they do.
Yeah,
fuck
they
it up.
own the
They
airport.
don't have the runway.
I mean, just, you clearly never been to State College Airport. The idea of you just like extend the runways.
Penn State doesn't own the airport there.
I don't think the university
That's
does.
Paterno territory.
I thought they were a big university. My mistake.
West Virginia +9 in the tees.
Hokies own their airport.
West Virginia +9 in the tees. LSU +9.5.
Sorry, I'm googling State College Airport facts. So you have West Virginia +9. What else?
LSU +9.5.
Okay.
Vandy +20.
There you go.
+20. Huh?
There's a lot of parlays we could do.
Yeah, what
here,
are we
Sean.
doing, Colby? Vandy, Oklahoma.
Yeah, why don't you talk to
we
Sean.
could even do conference breakdown. Like I like that little 2-step. And how about the Big 12 one? West Virginia and Colorado on the money line.
Yes.
Let's just, come on.
And then I think so. What we do is we'll have one Vandy, Oklahoma money line parlay, one West Virginia, Colorado money line parlay, and then I think we do round robin these. Because it's a bunch. Yeah, it's 4 teams I like
a
bunch of two team combos.
And
you guys done picking losers?
Yeah. Well, are you done fading Pavia? I guess not. He pissed all over all of Blacksburg. All right, and they play again next year. You better hope he doesn't get this medical red shirt thing that for the COVID year.
What's he need a medical red shirt?
Oh no, the COVID year when he was playing at New Mexico Military.
Oh, that counts against his
eligibility. He was in the
Yeah.
penal colony with Charlie Sheen.
Sean, we should do a Northwestern Arizona State money line Friday night parlay.
And shout out to Damani saying Vandy in Colorado will be in my dog round robins for show.
I like it. I like it. Damani, and shout out to Damani. He is a Vanderbilt grad.
Oh, nice.
And
Watch
so
out.
I know
Private school pussy.
he might have. Damani, were
in the
you
flesh.
on the goalpost?
Is this a
like-
Jay Cutler burner?
Was that your idea to get the goalpost into the Cumberland River?
The Vanderbilt students would never carry their own goalpost. I'm sure they have some sort of indentured servant to do that.
So Kramer, we're gonna play Northwestern Arizona State on the money line.
I think so. We'll be
That would be
at
fun.
the Circa. That makes sense. Seems
Nice
logical.
little sprinkle. Friday dogs have been barking. And hey, we've been climbing up the Spotify podcast charts. Appreciate everyone tossing us 5 stars, taking 5 seconds to give us 5 stars. It makes a world of difference. Right now, we are clocking in at 28th,
Whoa.
above Marshawn Lynch's podcast.
The heat is in the hat.
Dan Lebitard, he's down at 32. Cover 3.
He's spicy.
They're down at 34. First Take with Stephen A, 37. Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool Sports, 38. Bussin' with the Boys, 41.
You're plugging a lot of other podcasts right now.
Well, I'm just saying, thanks to our audience, we're
this?
up to 28. Can we crack the top 20? Maybe breathe some life into a second chance survivor. It's up to you, audience. Toss us 5 stars. Also, 5 stars to the 5-star college experience. Hit them up on Spotify. Toss them some 5 stars. Subscribe, rate, review, share, tell a friend.
Arrivals?
What's the rivals?
Oh no, there's a rivalry at SGPN.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm so confident I can plug my rival.
Where was Colby on that?
And we got to stop stealing
on that
Noah's
list?
downloads.
Where were we on that list? Where was the college experience on that list?
They're climbing. They're in the hunt, Ryan.
Yeah.
They're in the hunt.
Oh, just
so we had it in the hunt graphic.
We still have the courage to say Redskins,
just
unlike
checking.
some
Spotify.
unlike some shabby podcast. All right.
Yes, if you use Redskins, they kick you off the Spotify.
I can't
track.
wait to see the new Spotify flagging the college experience.
Well, it is.
episodes.
Wasn't Spotify like Joe Rogan had all these warnings about like information and do your own research on whether Washington should be called the Redskins.
DYOR.
All right.
please.
Thank you as always.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Go Hokies.
Kramer. Let it ride.